Hello, and on today's show, ramen with a side of robots?
Sounds everywhere!
Star Wars is so chic right now.
And Harvard is doing a study on EDM where their scientists are dropping acid before subsequently dropping the bass.
This is episode 12 of the Geek 30 Happy Hour. Welcome back to another episode of the Geek 30 Happy Hour, where we drink a toast to all the geeky things we're passionate about. Today is February 5th, 2016. My name is Alex, and that's Jojo.
Hello! How you doing today?
Pretty awesome, dude. How are you?
I'm very good. Thanks for asking.
Awesome. And we have three, I guess, guests.
Yeah.
Two guests that are going to be participating. One is that's going to be participating in moral support.
Nice.
You may
hopefully tacitly participate.
Yeah, we may hear some
the cute support.
Yeah, yes. He's the cute support.
This is the most adorable version of this show so far.
So first, let's introduce Veronica Kennedy.
Hi. I guess my name is Veronica. I also go by VK. I'm a new mom to my friend Elias here. And my major nerderies, I would have to say, are probably anime and sort of general geek lit.
Yes, and awesome. Veronica and I used to work together.
Yep.
We're not going to mention the name of the company.
Nope.
Yep.
Every time you mention it, you guys get mad. I don't want that negativity in the show.
Part of this podcast was edited out for legal reasons.
Yeah, right. And if you guys remember Jamal, he was on one of our episodes, on the Halloween episode that we did. We all worked together. So happy you could be here.
Yay, thank you.
And her husband.
Yes, Jason Flynn.
Jason Flynn.
I'm the husband, freelance writer, geek, hopefully at large, working on a variety of different projects, none of which I can talk about because most of them aren't finished. Father to little Elias here. My major nerderies would be certainly comic books,
awesome,
sci-fi and fantasy in general, and video games, which leads me to sad thoughts of this week, but we'll get to that later. I had a video game fail that we can talk about later.
So let's give honorable mention to our third guest. You guys kind of heard the name there.
Elias James Flynn. He is 11 weeks old today.
And he was born on 11/20. So.
Very awesome.
Nice.
And so part of today's show, the topic that our guests are bringing is that of how to be a parent, how to be a nerdy parent, how to raise your child to be potentially as nerdy as you.
Yeah.
And not rebel from the nerd to become like a pop-collared jacket.
Yeah.
Rat boy.
So we'll definitely be getting to their topic towards the later part of the show like we normally do. But before we do that, let's get into what we're drinking.
Yum.
Yes, drinking.
Oh, hello, Geek30. It's beer time.
This evening's podcast brought to you by Babies. How do you think you get them?
Yep, that is what happens.
No, that would. Oh, okay, maybe. Let's be real. Let's be real.
Let's be honest.
Is that what happened? Is that what happened, little man? This is the cutest freaking baby ever. Oh my gosh, and he's being so good. Well, while they are trying to make him burp, he just finished eating. We're going to talk about what we're drinking tonight. The first thing, we actually have a couple of beers. So we have two guests. We have two beers that we're drinking tonight.
Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. This is great.
Absolutely our pleasure.
The first thing that we're gonna feature is the Delirium Nocturnum. Now, all right. So I'm gonna read. This is a Belgian beer company, right? I'm looking at Veronica, and she's nodding her head.
Yep.
So the Hugh Brewery is a brewery founded in 1906 by Leon Hugh in the city of Mel in East Flanders, Belgium. Its flagship beer is Delirium Tremens, a golden ale frequently rated as one of the best beers in the world. And what we're having right now is the Delirium Nocturnum. It's a darker beer, and its alcohol content is 8.5%, and it's pretty. That's fairly high.
Yeah.
Dark brown red color, a compact white, yellow, stable wall adhesive foam. I don't know what all that crap means.
what it
It's
means.
delicious.
Right, so
Okay,
people can't see because this is a podcast, but we're drinking this out of more cognac-style glasses, and
Yeah.
the compact, sticky foam, blah, 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 is how it sticks to the glass.
Ah, okay.
I don't know why, but that makes that important.
Well, hey, it's delicious.
It's
It's got
delicious.
a great color to
Yeah.
it.
It
I mean,
coats the glass in
Right.
part.
yes, and the it is
And
it's sort of like
coats
a
my
brown
mouth in
and
happiness.
yeah, it's sort of a brown and red sort of color. It's wonderful. You know what, guys? Cheers.
Cheers.
Salud. And you're gonna enjoy this in a few hours.
No kidding.
I'm kidding. Totally
As it passes
kidding.
through my wife's body and is turned into breast milk. We do not condone nor endorse giving alcohol to children.
No, but it's one of the things that Beer Nerd Mom has had to learn when we
What the window is.
what the window is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, there's a whole shtick to it that would take way too long for the podcast. But yes, ladies, you can in fact still enjoy your beer and wine and still be able to breastfeed. It's
You hear
not
that?
a thing.
We're not breaking laws.
No,
Not at all.
no.
It's science.
It is science.
Don't get, blotto. Don't
No.
get 3 sheets to the wind. But no,
But
a
this
glass
is-
of wine or a beer every now and then.
Oh yeah, and
Right.
this is delicious.
It's really
And
awesome.
Veronica, I texted you and you were like, "Yeah, I'm bringing beers."
Yes.
And something that was a little bit out of the spectrum of something standard like Guinness
Right.
or
Or Fat Tire.
Miller High Life.
Or High Life. Look, man, don't judge. On a
No
hot
judgment.
day, ice cold Miller High Life is a tasty,
It
tasty
is.
glass of water.
It is. It certainly is. And the second beer that we have is called the Golden Drac 9000 Quadruple. I haven't poured this yet. We don't know what it looks like. We're gonna get through this first, but quickly calling attention to the description that we got. It's a quadruple variant of the dark Belgian beer Golden Drac, brewed by. Okay, I'm not even gonna try. Brewer? No, I'm gonna try. Brewers van Steenberg. These are folks in East. Did I do okay?
Yeah.
She's looking at me.
You got it right.
She's giving me a pity nod.
No, I'm not.
But this one is 10.7%.
This is
Oh, wow.
no joke.
No,
Yes.
it'll knock
No
you
joke.
on your ass.
Yes.
Careful.
So once we get through this beer, we're gonna pour a little bit of that other one. Yeah. And just a little bit on that. It says the recipe consists of 3 different kinds of malt added in a volume of 4 times the content in lager. The color of this beer is golden amber with a strong fruity scent. For the secondary fermentation, wine yeast is used. So that's kind of neat.
It's cool.
I'm looking forward to trying that.
Really
Yeah.
yummy.
Yeah, so we've got an awesome beer. We've got a beautiful baby. We've got 2 nerds joining Jojo and me.
This is a family going on.
This
is
is
awesome.
Yeah, this is good.
So we need to add a baby here, Alex.
Well, hey,
This is-
Deanna,
this
you're
is-
not pregnant, right?
I just got cut out of that picture real quick, didn't I?
You're not, right?
Genetics are a harsh mistress.
It's a beard. It's a
I don't
beard.
think Deanna's pregnant. So, and it doesn't work that way, Jojo.
I tried.
I know.
Damn it.
All right. Well, like I said, we got a great crowd here. Let's get into the news.
The news.
Geek30 News!
First up in the news, there are robots in Shanghai making ramen.
That's not how that sentence was going to end, I thought.
Yeah? It's kind of different, huh?
You started with robots in Shanghai, and I'm like, okay, let's head to the bunker.
You weren't thinking Michael Bay?
Not so much.
Explosions and then ramen.
And then ramen.
Ramen explosion.
Ramen explosion.
So please explain.
So there's a cool video, and as usual, guys, I'm going to be putting this in the show notes. There are some robots. These 2 robots. Gosh, what were the names again? One's name was Kona, and I remember that because of Hawaii. But they have 2 robots costing around $150,000 that they bought for these robots for, and I know
Pocket
it's
change.
crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, I know.
Eli. All right. And they bought these robots. They're making ramen, and it's causing this is huge in Shanghai.
And they look like skelkies.
Yeah, they're
the Dark
really
Crystal.
cool.
They
And
totally-
one
they
of them makes the actual broth. Another one, cooks the noodles and does all that sort of stuff. And they make ramen in 90 seconds. And it's become a huge hit. And the only thing that comes to mind is they took our jobs. They took our jobs.
You're talking to gerbs. What comes to mind for me is the other robots back at whatever car manufacturing plant or industrial
the suicidal
manufacturing.
Chevy robot?
No, not that. But that's a good callback to the Super Bowl commercial from a couple years ago. I'm thinking
The big game, yo. Don't get them sued.
the other robots. Sorry, yes, the other robots at the plant who told them they could never be chefs, who are now looking at this that these two robots are living their dream of becoming professional chefs.
Don't let anybody tell you no.
They read No Reservation. They watched No Reservations
Suddenly
with
the
Anthony
music of the Great
Bourdain.
American Heroes going through my head. Who could it be?
Believe it or not,
It's just me. Making ramen in 90 seconds.
The world is your oyster, people.
So-
whether or not you're a robot or a
So I
person.
didn't know that Skynet was funding restaurants.
Yeah, believe it or not.
Well, I don't know that they're funding, but they're definitely creeping their way into that network.
It's under
and
that
controlling.
umbrella corporation.
Well, they're making it. They're making it cute and lovable so that you're not as scared when they do actually finally take over.
Yes.
Except they're not cute and lovable. They look like Skelkies.
It is like Skelky. Well, one's got a bowl on his head, so
That is adorable.
And it's got red eyes.
It's got red eyes.
It wants to eat me.
All right, Alex. Just be ready. Don't fall for the ramen when it's your time to lead the resistance.
This is your generation, young
Viva
man.
la resistance.
This is your
you
generation.
can 3D print weapons now.
and he it's okay.
And yeah, he just yawned.
Tiger Duck is not impressed.
No. It's a cool video though, guys. I'll share. We got it from Tech Insider. The names are Koya and Kona.
I had to suffer through a furniture commercial and then like a minute of video to finally get that because there's no subscription on this website. I don't know why. They give you no information. You have to watch the video.
Yeah, again, the video is on Tech Insider. Kind of some cool news there. I saw that while I was just kind of perusing some social media stuff. I was like, oh, this is kind of cool.
I also want to know what the egg is in that ramen because the egg is like the size of my head. There's this enormous egg in the bowl of ramen.
Yeah,
That's later on in the video. I don't know if I can skip.
Have you
forward to
guys
that.
ever had like really authentic ramen?
Yeah.
Where can you get some of
There's
that?
actually a good. I
There's
forget the name
two
of it.
really good places in DC. One is is it Todai or Toki?
I forget. There's a place that I went to with a friend of mine last year. I'll have to dig up the name and send it to you.
seriously.
And it's
yeah.
on H Street. Over
And there's
in
some
Atlas.
place in Nova that just opened that's supposed to be authentic ramen.
Oh yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
I think it's in Annandale or near Seven Corners somewhere
Yeah?
in there. We've got a couple of friends who are
it's in
serious
Eden
foodies
Center.
who are
Oh.
into.
Dude, tell me.
Because I will be
All
there
of us will go,
tomorrow.
yes.
On Sunday.
We'll get you some info.
Yeah.
That I would love a bowl of ramen, especially with this weather.
The one
yeah.
is over. So the one that I know of, it's really good and it's worth the wait. The problem is that there's a really obnoxious wait, 24 hours a day. And it's,
That egg.
Yeah, that egg. That egg is enormous.
I don't know what that egg
That's
is, but it looks like it's
huge.
kind of like the soft boiled on the inside. It's not
delicious.
fully boiled on the inside. That's
Yeah, but
crazy.
at the traditional ramen places, you can add egg, you can add,
Yeah.
different bacon, meats, and
Yeah,
what
meats.
have you.
Yep.
And it is some serious stuff.
So good.
Oh.
It
But
is
the-
worth the wait if you go.
The joint's over on it's over in Atlas District in Northeast.
All right.
It's
so
right around the corner from Chinatown.
so you
No,
people.
no. This one, no, that's the one that you and Jen went to. The one that
Right.
I'm thinking of is up by Pug Bar and the Rock and Roll Hotel over
Okay.
in Northeast DC.
You do have options
Okay.
in the metro.
Todai
area.
or
Okay.
Toki, something
So
like
for
that.
those people listening, if you have recommendations, you live in the DC area, you have good recommendations on some ramen places to go to that is like authentic. That's what
Yum.
I'm looking for.
Yum.
Email geek30podcast@gmail.com.
We'll make a field trip out there. and
Hell to the yeah.
I would love to eat some ramen.
Hell to the yeah.
It's been a little while since we're starting to actually be able to get out and go to places again because our little friend.
And as evidenced, he's
Say
way
hello
good.
to my little friend.
But
He's
he's
way
super
good.
chill. We took him out to a bar, Meridian Pint, just last night for a friend's birthday party, and he's super chill. So we're
Yeah,
starting
he's
to
so
realize we can still be a couple as well as parents.
Right.
So
Yeah.
we can go back out and do stuff
He's
like
adorable.
Well, then
so
we're
he's
all
a,
going
he's a
to ramen.
conversation starter.
do it.
you know,
that. I'd be down for
icebreaker.
going for ramen.
We're going to ramen.
Sounds good.
All right.
He will enjoy it later.
And here's another thing that he has to look forward to as he grows up because 3D audio is becoming a thing.
I know, right?
There's this company called OSIC, And Jojo, you're the resident
I'm about
audio.
to ask you, what do you mean by 3D audio? But I guess I'm the one explaining what 3D audio is.
Jojo is the resident audio expert.
Which makes no sense because, again, I'm deaf in one ear, but that's neither here nor
neither here
there.
nor there.
That's neither here nor there. That's minor details.
Could you repeat that?
I've had that joke so many times in my life. So it's,
But I appreciate you leaning into it. I appreciate it.
So everybody's familiar with like surround sound. You go to the theater and things explode behind you. They got trains going this way, got planes going that way.
Michael Bay.
Yeah, exactly. Michael Bay, especially Michael Bay.
All right, that's the second Michael Bay reference. If we get a third, he's going to show up. It's like Beetlejuice.
Be careful with that. Yeah, with him, you're just normal conversation, just like an explosion in the background, just because it's Michael Bay, right?
Oh,
There he is. But in this case, they're actually making headphones that have the gyroscopic little sensors that your phone has. So you've seen the videos on Facebook where if you move it around, it'll actually follow with you. So you can get inside of a vehicle or inside of a valley or whatnot. Well, imagine that, but with audio. So when you move your head around, the audio follows you, so all the movement goes around, which is actually pretty prevalent right now in video games. If you play Halo or Call of Duty, you'll hear the bullets and whatever, and everywhere you move, the sound follows you. But now, because that's always been static, you always had to sit in one spot. Now, if you walk around your apartment, now you can hear things from different areas. You go down the stairs and whatnot. There's different sound fields to be able to do that with. So you're moving your head in a 360-degree environment, and that sound follows you as well as the video. Things like the Oculus Rift, you can measure to and be completely engulfed in an environment.
So imagine what that means for video games.
Oh,
like
that's
that's
insane.
incredible.
it would change the experience
Right.
Yeah.
completely.
Well, it allows you, mentioning things like the Oculus Rift.
Right.
Yeah.
If you're a programmer, because we know some people who are developers and designers, okay, I'm going to build you this house. So now I can not just say, oh, on this floor, you'll hear these noises. In this room, you'll hear these
Right,
noises.
exactly.
And it might be muffled that you'll hear the other thing to get clues. So
Right.
like a mystery or a horror game becomes that
Like
much
a
more
Resident
immersive.
Evil
Yes.
or Doom, or where you
Yeah.
go upstairs and there's a lurker. You might hear him, you might not hear him, you know,
Right.
whatnot. So it's cool that you can actually image that in an object-based environment, you know,
Yeah.
so it's not static anymore.
That's pretty cool.
I'm super excited. They don't have the Kickstarter yet. When we're recording this February 5th, I can't even talk now. I'm excited. So sorry about that. But they're going to do a Kickstarter here in about 2 to 3 weeks, and I'm going to sign up automatically because I need this in my life. You know, even before it's a thing, I need this to happen.
I'm just curious to know what it'll feel like when you have that. Not the actual headset itself, right? That'll feel like a pair of headphones.
Right.
But the sound, what that experience does.
Right.
It'll be interesting to see because you've got a small percentage of people that no matter what they're viewing in the Oculus Rift get disoriented and get sick.
Right.
So I'm wondering if some people are going to have equilibrium problems
That's what I
with
wonder.
the
They
sound.
had that issue with a lot
Vertigo,
of
something's gonna
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you guys remember DTS audio. There was
Yeah.
a multi-channel sound,
Yeah.
and some people were starting to play with the different formats, and it actually did create people to get sick because you have more of the equilibrium in your ears than you do with your eyes. Your eyes are visual and you follow them,
Right.
but everything balancing wise is in your ears.
Right.
Right.
And so they were creating sounds and they're trying to play with the room and whatnot, and also people were starting to throw up and get nauseated and whatnot. So it can affect you in that aspect.
Because like with something as I guess relatively rudimentary as to 3D or headphones. But, with my newer iPhone that's got the noise canceling with that sound
Right.
movement that follows you, it kind of wigged me out at first. I was like, what the
Right.
is going like?
Well, noise canceling is also kind of weird too because it puts a little bit more pressure in your
Yeah.
ear
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it's actively it puts a sine wave in the opposite direction
Yeah.
to cancel out
Yeah.
that, so you
Right,
actually get a
right.
little more pressure, which is kind of a weird sensation.
Which is
in
why I know
itself.
some people can't use them on planes.
Right.
Because you've got the pressurized cabin and then the additional pressure
Exactly.
canceling out the noise.
Yeah.
I've seen some people and they just get massive headaches and they can't use
Right.
them on planes.
That's
So-
why I tend to stick with noise isolation in that aspect.
Yeah.
But I mean, again, the orientation thing, that's always been applied to a static environment. So moving in the 3D environment, I don't know. That'd be a great question to figure out when it comes
That'd
out.
be kind of cool. Yeah.
I'd be interested to see what tech schools, Caltech, MIT, get involved with the Kickstarter because I think of the Kinect
Right.
and all the movement-based stuff and all of those labs and all of those tech schools said, "All right, we're going to take all of this and
they've-
figure out what we can do with it."
Stuff like
and
that
this
has
is the
been
next
used
thing.
for like all kinds of. So okay, I have like a closet nerdery. I'm really into goofy ghost shows.
It's all
like
good.
Ghost
Yeah.
Hunters. And all that. I don't.
God.
No,
Whatever.
Ghost Adventures.
Love it.
Love it.
Love it.
Yes.
Love it. Zach Braff.
You want- hey, you wanna-
native Washingtonian, actually.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
So you want to know something kind of sad?
Not Zach
is
Braff.
that
What the hell's his last name?
Anyway,
Anyway.
it's Zach.
No, Braff
it's not
is the
Zach
guy
Braff.
From
Zach,
Scrubs.
yeah, Zach. Anyway,
Shoot. Anyway,
so
that guy.
so Deanna and I, our wedding anniversary is in September. So leading into Halloween, so
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
when you start to see Ghost Adventures popping up, right?
Yeah.
We went down to Stanton,
Stanton.
Virginia. To spend our anniversary. It's a great little town with a bunch of like little microbreweries, a lot of fun
Stanton's really
history.
pretty. Yeah.
We before we went out to dinner, we wanted to go back to the hotel room and just kind of chill out before dinner.
Right.
We sat and watched like Ghost Adventures for like 2.5 hours.
Yes.
Yeah,
Fist bump, man.
yeah, fist bump.
Love.
And like it's really it's a thing.
So bad. It's good. Anyway,
geeking
my
out over
point
it,
is that Ghost Adventures, in fact, started enlisting the use of some guy who like comes up with sort of this alternative equipment. He set up a Kinect to like catch whatever weird
Oh,
stuff.
I've seen that. Yes.
Yeah, so I wonder how this new tech is going to be used for sort of those kinds of hobbyists. The
Right.
folk that have like the alternative hobby, like are they going to use it to try and catch white noise better or something like that?
All I know is that in Fallout 4, when I end up running through the streets and I hear those zombie things. What are those zombie things called?
The ghouls.
The ghouls. When I hear a ghoul coming at me, I'm going to know which way it's coming from.
This is
yeah,
true.
yeah. It'll give you total
And it's going to
directional.
scare the crap out of me even more than it does now.
But it's cool
So
because right now, if you're in a 5.1 environment, everything's static, and so until you turn, that sound's not going to turn with you.
Yeah.
But if you had headphones on and you turn your head, that sound will follow you as well.
Yeah.
So that
Crazy.
puts it in perspective where it is. You
Right.
get a better location of it.
It's you make me sad bringing up Fallout. Actually,
Really?
I as I mentioned before, I had a video game nerd fail earlier this week.
So sad.
And it's not directly related to Fallout 4. I've been trying desperately to finish Fallout 4 because my game dropped today, XCOM 2.
Oh,
Now,
nice.
I played the ever effing loving shit out of the first XCOM and the expansion.
So did I.
I owned it on
So good.
console. I owned it on my laptop.
Oh, wow.
I got my
I've
lovely
been
wife
very
into
intrigued
it.
in that game. I have never tried
So
it.
good.
The relaunch
So
of
good.
XCOM grabbed me in a way like few games have, and I have been literally
Dude,
like
for
as
real,
soon as
he's
they
been
announced.
watching like the build out videos, and he'll like finish and be like, "Honey, come here, you need to watch this one. They're doing this
Really?
and this." Oh my god,
So
he's been
I
geeking out over
as
it.
soon as it was available, without doing any research or doing any prep, I pre-ordered it on Steam because I'm absolutely going to play
Really?
this. I was even grateful because we were about to have Alliance that they pushed it from the November launch to February. And I'm like, they're on my side.
They knew exactly what they were doing.
And it drops the day before my birthday. I'm like, Firaxis has given me a birthday present.
Right.
Saw him up last night. It's my shift with him at night.
There's
So I'm
like
like,
5 planets in alignment, aren't
yeah,
there?
I've got the baby monitor in front because I've got my noise canceling headphones on. I'm still going to be able to see it if he cries, if he needs me. But I've got the preload
Yeah.
ready to go. I'm waiting for 12:01. It launches. I load it up. I'm like, got an additional patch. I'm like, fine, give me all the patches. I'm ready. I got the pre-order. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. I didn't mention that I'm a Mac guy. Guess whose machine can't run the game?
And it's
Oh, no.
It's not just his machine, unless you've got the 27-inch iMac Super Ooh La La that
No.
has the Super
If I-
AMD drive on top of the Intel
Right.
Intel graphics
A separate
card.
video processor,
Right.
yeah.
Now, if I had like a
Won't run it.
mid-range gaming rig
Yeah.
PC, I could run this no problem.
That's why I built that. I'm pointing. So, guys at home, I'm pointing to my little, my big ass gaming rig behind me. And I'm a Mac guy too. But I built that just specifically for gaming.
Yeah.
Because of this.
And I think I'm gonna have to go down that road
Yeah.
because I'm aghast because it basically is telling me you need a better Mac to run this.
That's mind blowing.
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
That's never happened
No.
before, ever. It's a Mac
No.
thing.
No.
They run for
Right.
7 years solidly. For
And
7
my-
years.
I-
you
My
know, 10
laptop's
years.
8 years old, and he's like,
Yeah.
maybe you need a new laptop as he's trying to figure out how you can get the game. No, man, my shit's fine.
and my,
The 8th and
mine's
10th
a,
years, you're still using it.
mine's
but
a
it'll
3-year-old
run.
MacBook Pro.
Then that-
It should.
Yeah.
No,
I'm
that
not,
shouldn't be a
It's
thing.
not even in my mind that it's
Right.
not going to be able to
You
run
bring
this,
a
right?
single drop of tear on that,
Yeah,
a
no.
sweat,
No.
So she very, very gracefully says, "Honey, this is how you can get your refund through Steam." She's talking me down off the ledge. Now,
What are you
I
gonna
talked
do,
this
right?
up so much with friends of mine who are also going to play. I had 3 different people at like 8 in the morning who were texting me, figuring I was going to be up all night. Like, how do you like the game? Have you played it yet? I'm this far in. I'm like, I can't load the game.
Oh wow.
And
no.
it's like someone died in my family. The response I've been getting. A buddy of ours said, I've got an old mid-range gaming rig that I'm not using anymore.
Our friend lives in Hyattsville, Maryland. He lives on the other side of the
DC.
building.
He hears me
Annandale.
say
Yeah.
where I am over this, and he's like, dude, I'm going to bring you my old gaming rig.
Really?
I'm going to bring you my old
That's
gaming
love.
rig.
That is
and I'm
love.
like, man, I love you.
That's love right there.
If he wasn't already named, I might have to give Elias your name as his middle name. So he comes over and we spend an hour or so getting this thing, because he's got his laptop rig. He hasn't used this, so we've got to update some drivers and all this other thing. His graphics card is telling him now. His systems are telling
I
him
think it's
that
fine.
he's
I think
running
it's fine.
DirectX 11. But when we try to load it, because we get up to load it,
Yeah.
and when we go to hit play, it says you need DirectX 10.1 or better to run this.
I actually think
and then it
it's okay.
kicks out of Steam.
Oh, jeez.
So I think it's an uninstall reload fix.
Yeah,
Right,
I think
exactly.
we're okay.
But having gone through all of that to get to that point again, I'm just like, this is a cosmic joke.
Right.
Seriously.
Because up until
seriously.
last night,
Everything
everything
was
was
perfect.
coming
Yeah.
up Millhouse for me.
The gods are
Wow.
saying, nope, just kidding.
No, take care of it, kid.
Hey, see this? See this? Nope. No. Little carrot in front of the on a string.
Oh, man.
So hopefully we're going to be able to correct that when
Hey,
we get
fingers
home.
crossed. And you know what, dude? Call us. Let us know what you think about that game, because I want to know.
XCOM's great.
Yeah, and you know, folks out there, if you're playing XCOM right now, I seriously am considering getting it. Leave us a voicemail or something. Let us know. 443-424-3350. Leave us a voicemail. Let me know what you think.
I definitely want to build a PC.
Oh, totally.
To start getting a game, because I'm a big Mac guy, obviously, as
Yeah.
well. But I want to build something to get games running as well.
Yeah, definitely.
I
Rocket
mean,
League.
we could just get a Mac Pro.
Dun dun dun.
This is why I married her.
Where'd you find this model? I need to set something similar to that. I'm in the market for something like that.
That's a whole nother story.
I know.
For more beer. Yeah, we'll have to tell that story over some more beer. All right, so
Pareció.
yeah,
¿Qué crees?
he's being so good.
¿Qué crees, mi amor?
Hey,
Hello.
Eli, what do you think about buying a $600 jacket for Star Wars? No? Oh, no, he started wincing at that. Me too, kid, because according to an article on Nerdist, they're selling Star Wars themed apparel, and this is like, I mean, this is stuff that's
Is this licensed?
it seems to be. I mean, this is stuff that's like, it's actually modeled after like Han Solo's jacket, Rey's jacket, all these things, and they start at like $600. I'm gonna put
That's
this.
obnoxious, though. Like, seriously, like
is.
the
Yeah.
nerds who really want a case in point. I'm not gonna drop. I have a kid. I'm not gonna drop $600.
I'm
on a
going
Han
to.
Solo.
I'm gonna drop $600
I miss those days.
because we're lacking kids, right? Still. Yeah. All right.
Silence equals acceptance.
Yep. That's it. So you know, it is expensive though, right? I mean, it's a nice leather jacket.
These aren't licensed. These are inspired.
Oh,
They're inspired.
Okay.
Yeah.
But guys, I mean, it's the same freaking thing.
I mean, it looks like
Unless
that looks like.
Tauntaun leather, yo. I'm not sure.
I thought it
this
smelled
vest
bad
looked
on
like
the
it belongs on
outside.
Hoth.
I get that.
I mean, you're
This vest
paying
looks
for
like it
the
belongs on
import.
Hoth, you know. So that's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it's cool looking. It's cool looking, you know, jackets, and they have jackets like, you know, Poe Dameron's
That one's
jacket.
gorgeous.
Yeah,
That's
Poe
Poe's
Dameron
jacket.
/ Finn's jacket.
Yeah,
That's a sweet jacket.
The bromance
is.
jacket.
The bromance jacket is pretty sweet. I will
and
say that.
you know, Han Solo's jacket is probably my favorite.
I may actually buy a replica of Poe Dameron's jacket because I really like that jacket a lot.
It's a nice. It's just a nice cut.
I might just buy the jacket because then it becomes easy to be Finn for Halloween.
You know,
Ah, there you go.
It's versatile. It's
Well,
comfortable
it's
and it's a
a
costume.
black top, black pants, and a jacket, and you're done.
Yeah,
You know?
at least I am.
Yeah.
Ski mask and a burlap rag over the face with a maybe we could do that for Halloween.
Be Finn and Ray.
Oh my goodness, can you be little Kylo? Can we?
Well, you can make him a little Kylo, or you can also make something to make him BB-8.
Oh,
He's small enough, right?
Actually,
you win.
actually, speaking of being nerdy parents, before we knew
Oh my
his,
god, are the dogs can be R2 and C3PO?
not the story I was going to tell.
Oh my god.
Before we knew what his gender was going to be, we had several of our friends had come up with sort of gender neutral names for in utero reference to their kids, and Veronica's like, we should do that, and immediately a light bulb flash hit me, and I'm like, I know what we're calling the baby. She's like, what? Gozer.
Yes.
Because Gozer can be whatever it wants.
Yep.
Exactly.
So until we knew and until we were going to tell everybody, he was Gozer.
Right.
To this day, he's 11 weeks alive, has a real name, is a real person. There's pictures and videos of him.
Oops and peas and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People are still like, how's Gozer? I'm like, he does have a name. It was
He's a
cute.
fully functioning baby, people.
Yeah.
Okay?
It's like, what?
And he's freaking
What
beautiful.
just popped in there?
Yeah, exactly.
Seriously though, people like this is a good looking baby.
It's a great-looking baby.
He is beautiful.
I think we can give you guys a picture of him to throw
we're gonna
up
have
in the
to.
show
Yeah,
notes.
people are gonna have
Definitely.
to see a picture of this baby.
Tiger.
And you know what? Let's just segue straight into your all's topic. Being a nerdy parent, raising a child, instilling that importance of loving your passion and not being afraid to share it with the world. I mean, because that's what we're doing here, right?
Right.
Right.
The whole premise of this show is to, share what we're passionate about, whatever that may be. Obviously, you guys have a brand new passion.
Yes.
He's
Loving this kid.
yours.
Loving this kid. So, what do you guys take away from, this whole experience so far? What you said, 11 weeks?
11 weeks in.
So 11 weeks in, what do you guys take away from this
I'm
experience?
so
far?
happy I finished Dragon Age before the baby showed up because I have no time for video games.
So that is the number one thing.
Priorities. Hashtag priorities.
Not the fact that you're, look at this beautiful baby,
New
but
family, new beginnings.
but the Inquisitor has finished all of her
I have a
missions.
91,000 word fanfic I need to finish about my Inquisitor.
Oh, all right.
I am dedicated to the Inquisition. I mean, yeah, of course. That stuff is obviously in there, but it's I think it comes in phases. It's not necessarily like I want to instill on my kid my love for R2D2 and the fact that I think he's a sociopath, but hilarious, and that's been the big joke all along, right?
Yeah.
But it's taking a step back from that and like instilling the things that lead to that kind of
Right.
passion, right? Like the appreciation for the artwork, the appreciation for the creativity that goes to it,
Right.
and like the appreciation for like everybody who's different, right? The other thing that I think really sort of makes the nerd community work and tick, despite like the girl politics and the boy gamers and whatever, bro
Right.
gamers and all that, it's that it doesn't matter what walk of life brought you here, but you know what a Triforce is, you know what a Stormtrooper
Yeah.
is. It's a
Right.
unifying force. It's all
Exactly.
like driven by creativity and love and like passion and cons
I consider us very.
cons.
and just instilling that into him is sort
Cosplay.
of and cosplay and like the
We're
the
taking him to Awesome
craftsmanship.
Con this year.
There you
Nice.
go.
Baby's first
I'll
con
see you guys there.
is
I'm gonna
Memorial
bring
Day
it up.
weekend. Please come on now.
Yeah.
But like it's the craftsmanship that goes into that stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like that's for me. That's I've been thinking a lot about it. That's kind of the stuff that I want to instill in him.
Mm-hmm.
And that it's okay to geek out about it. Like, if he
totally,
decides
right,
to
yeah.
geek out about drawing, if he decides to geek out about... Yeah, I'm a big yarn geek. I knit a lot.
Marissa was on the show, and
golly.
she was a big knitter.
You
as
and
well.
Marissa are the same person.
Yeah, I keep
Hey,
hearing
hey,
this.
Marissa. Dude, this is like the same person as you.
Call me!
One of the things that
I don't know if she's a Bleach or a Naruto, though. This will determine much.
Neither.
Neither.
She's
Neither.
big on the Sailor Moon and that kind of genre
Okay.
of
See,
anime.
I'm on the other side. I'm on the boy side of that.
Okay,
I'm
okay.
not... I love Sailor Moon, but, like, I'm really into Bleach.
Oh, me too. And
I
I'm
love
a big
Bleach.
Naruto person, but I'm big into Bleach.
Not into Naruto's secondary for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've looked at a lot of different things, and one of the things that keeps striking me is how fortunate we are as
Yes, please.
geeks right now to
You're
be
kidding me.
parents with the vast variety of things that are available, and the fact that geek culture has become pop culture.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
definitely.
And one of the best examples, I was talking to a friend of ours named Chris who's got two little ones. And
You never heard Chris before. Chris doesn't ever pop
What's a
up.
Chris? and just a reference to that inside joke, people. There was one episode where we had 4 references to Chris's who contributed something to the show.
Yeah.
Whether that be a beer recommendation or a story recommendation, some kind of news article.
this Chris has a fully functioning speakeasy bar in his basement.
Well, there's a 5th Chris in our lives.
It's a rum.
I need to know this, Chris.
It's a tiki bar. He's also a computer science guy. He's built a program that tracks everybody's drinks during the course of the night.
Drinkatron.
The Drinkatron, and there's
Drinkatron 5,000.
there's touch pads that you can register your arrival at the party and send drinks to the touch pads behind the bar
Just
that the
'cause.
bartenders can make, because this is what
Really?
he does. He built an arcade
Oh no, he
box.
was like, I want to know how to do the touchpad. What can I do? I know. I'll build me a drink system. Yep, that's what I'm going to do.
We can-
we
we
just
can-
built it.
Holy cow.
I know.
The next
right?
big tiki party is Luck of the Tiki for St. Patrick's Day. We'll get you guys invited.
I'll say,
Heck to the
I have
yeah.
people in Puerto Rico. I will bring rum. I will bring whatever rum he needs me to bring.
Tithings are important to the tiki bar, but
Obviously.
I was talking with Chris about, and
That's not even.
I'm a big comic book in various forms nerd.
Yeah.
And Chris is not so much, but I was trying to encourage him to watch Arrow and the Flash.
Okay.
Okay.
I've started
Because-
watching Arrow.
I've grown up being much more of a Marvel guy, but I like I love DC's animated through the 90s, Batman the Animated
So
Series,
good.
Justice League.
Oh, yeah.
Those are classics.
Incomparable.
And I'm really enjoying
Those will be babies
the
first.
the TV part of the multiverse, which DC is pretty much confirmed now that they're taking everything as a multiverse approach. That's why they haven't done
Interesting.
No, but they had to do that. They had to do it to keep up with
With
Marvel.
like Suicide Squad, it's such a one-off. You know, it's a
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I'm so trepidatious about that though. Like I'm not
I will enjoy it, but only as an indivial piece,
Yeah,
not as
that's
anything
kind of the
connected
way
to
I
anything
am,
else.
well, it's still gonna be the same universe because that Batfleck is in that movie.
Oh wow, okay.
Yes, he is. He
I
is.
just
You're right.
hope they don't try to like make Harley Quinn super kawaii and like try and like insert like that bubble gum like
Right.
Well, we'll see how that
do
turns
it.
out. So Chris and I were talking. I'm trying to get him into Arrow and Flash, which he and his wife are both into now. And I said, and it was just a little thing, and we had just found out we were pregnant with Elias, and it's one of the things that made me smile about the prevalence of geek culture and the way it's being handled by some people is like things that should be a thing on network television are never really a thing on Arrow and Flash. The 2 examples I gave him, and this is spoilers for anybody who's not up to date on Arrow or Flash. Just heads up.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alerts. At one point, one of the main characters in Arrow, John Diggle, he reconnects with his ex-wife. He is black, she is white. It is never mentioned. They have a child during the course of this show. It is never broached on the fact that they have a child and they love this little girl. One of Oliver, the Arrow's ex-girlfriends, comes back, and you find out while she was away becoming an assassin with the League of Assassins, she got a girlfriend.
Oh
And
wow.
her girlfriend shows up to try and get her back. So clearly they're saying this
They did
character's bi.
They did
Right.
a whole spin on it because it's. Do I want to spoil it?
Well, we're already spoiled.
It's their version of Ra's al Ghul's kid. It's Nissa.
Oh wow.
It's
Yeah.
one of his
So
children.
they played
it's
her off
Nissa
as
Al
bi.
Ghul.
Yeah.
It's not
Wow.
Talia, it's
yeah,
Nissa.
yeah, it's cool.
Oh, cool.
Technically, if you go back, Raish has like 5 kids, but this is one of his kids. And it's clear that Nissa and Sarah have had a serious relationship, and Oliver and Sarah have had a serious relationship. And Nissa even says, "Do you need to talk to your boyfriend before you talk to me?" And there's romantic tension, but it's never made a thing.
Right.
Sarah later talks to her father, and the only time it's broached, she talked to her father, who's thought she has been dead for the last 5 years. And she's like, "Are you upset?" And this is basically her coming out. And all he says is, "You were lost and alone and abandoned, and you thought everybody who loved you thought you were dead. I'm just glad you found somebody who loved you and took care of you."
Oh wow.
Hey, that's support.
And that's how it's
awesome.
handled.
Yeah.
And when little
What I
moments
love,
like
though-
that throughout geek culture, because the people who are so many more of the people who are making the movies and the television
Yeah.
shows are fans. They're not
Right.
just the executive
Yeah.
who got stuck with this sci-fi thing and I don't get it.
Firefly.
I am putting my finger on my nose and I am pointing at Jojo, who's exactly right, and I'm still not over
I'm
it.
sorry.
Yes, I'm
that's the
still-
first thing that popped in my. I'm so sorry.
Jojo, it's okay. Stop crying. It's okay.
Well, I might.
Stop.
I'm gonna go get a
It gets better. It gets better, Jojo.
Yeah.
It's never
It gets
too.
better.
It's always too soon.
But
talk about
so
everything.
many of the creators across whether it's podcasts or YouTube or TV or film, so many more of the creators who are doing geek-oriented things give a damn.
Yeah.
Right.
it matters to them that these are good representations of Arrow, of Doctor Strange, of Doctor Who,
Yeah.
of Sherlock, of Game of Thrones.
It's a good time to be a geek, and it's a good time for this little dude to be growing up in this sort of culture. Well, as he's yawning, but seriously, because it's something that there's stories that are centered around acceptance, love, camaraderie. It really is. They're good stories.
I feel like it was more prevalent in the BBC first, and I'm glad it's happening more in the American kind of field now. And again, it's to your point that it's something that's part of the culture. It is context to a story. It is not the story. They don't beat it over the head,
And
repeatedly.
With it becoming sort of more into the mainstream culture, also is I had mentioned earlier in the show that like one of my big nerd things is lit. I'm a big geek lit person, right?
Uh-huh.
And the fact that stuff like Game of Thrones,
Right?
Yeah.
right? Like 10 years ago, that was, hey, have you read it yet? It was like, what is it? Well, it's kind of like Wheel of Time, but dirty.
Yeah.
Like,
But a little more rapey and a little more incest.
racy, a little more
More than a little.
incest.
More than a little.
There's a dwarf and there's a thing. And
How many
there's-
details can you hold at one time in your head?
And that my dad is now, right? My dad's like,
Right.
he's not a square by any means, but he is of the baby boomer generation. But that he calls me, he's like, hey, so this happened in Game of Thrones. Am I totally caught up? I'm like, yes, Daddy, you're caught up. He's like, awesome, yes. He's like, are the books really that good? I'm like, did you need to read the books? But I can have these conversations with my parents about stuff like,
Because it's
Game of
something
Thrones.
super geeky, but now it's popular, so everybody's part
And
of it.
so it's
you
more
know?
approachable, right?
Exactly,
I feel like
yeah.
stuff like all geek lit to people was like the Silmarillion, where it reads like the Bible and it's 3 inches thick and it's all thou hast this Dawu and
I read The Hobbit.
Ao,
I
and
read
it's-
the Lord of the Rings trilogy in high school, and
a lot.
I never took on the Silmarillion.
It's
I was like,
good.
I saw it, and I was
It's
like,
serious.
I was like, you know what? I'm gonna leave that alone. I backed off of that
good.
one.
Let me ask this. So this is, if we're talking about, Eli bringing him into all of this, is what is going to be the first thing that you introduce him to? And I think about my first time, because Star Wars is definitely going to be mine. Like with my kids, whenever that happens, right, Deanna? Not now. Okay. So with him, like what is
She's
that?
gonna respond to you
I love you
eventually.
guys.
You know?
What is
eventually
what
gonna
is his
respond.
thing going to be? Like, what is the most important thing to
I
you
think
guys?
the most accessible one, the most important one is, again, going back to what those roots are. So good stories, sort of well-crafted things. So I think, but the most accessible stuff is going to be, I think it depends on the medium. For me, it's going to be anime.
Yeah,
Cartoons, right?
Yeah.
But
Studio Ghibli at first, and kind of
Studio
Miyazaki's
Ghibli, well, his
definitely
his
gonna be in
bedroom's
play.
design
Yes.
is decorated in Miyazaki.
Oh, nice.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Right.
Soot
So we
Sprites
have
and Totoro and
Totoro,
Yeah.
Soot Sprites. We have San and the dragon from Spirited Away.
Oh,
So
right.
you
Nice.
know what?
Voila.
For those people who don't know much about anime, tell them a little bit about this artist.
So Studio Ghibli is the studio run by a man named Hayao Miyazaki, and he is considered the Walt Disney of
That's a
of
great
Japanese
way of putting it.
of
Right,
Japanese. Well,
yeah.
that's
Seriously,
what he's known as. He's most known for My Neighbor Totoro. Kiki's Delivery Service really took off here in the States too for little kids.
Is it Howl's Moving Castle?
Howl's Moving
Princess
Castle.
Mononoke.
And the
Princess
other
Mononoke
really
is
famous
great.
one for the
Yeah.
older crowds is Princess Mononoke, because the American screenplay for it was written by Neil Gaiman. Or the English, rather,
Yeah.
screenplay for it was written by Neil Gaiman. And that was the first one that had like big actors in the dub, and in the anime community was one of the first dubs that was like accepted as like, it's a dub, fine, it's a
Right.
dub, it's good. I think that'll be kind of the starters, but it'll also be like the old school stuff like Voltron,
Of course, gotta
yeah,
have it.
right?
yeah.
Like Voltron doesn't age
And that's-
well.
yeah, no, not at all.
PS,
That's- no,
everyone.
it doesn't.
That was gonna be one of my
No,
questions,
not at all.
because they have a Ninja Turtles now, and they've got a He-Man now, whatever. Do you show them the new stuff, or do you show them the old stuff, the old Ninja Turtles, the old He-Man,
the old Ninja Turtles,
yeah,
for sure.
stuff for sure.
Because
And like He-Man, I actually watched He-Man and She-Ra
Does not
while
hold
I
up
was
well.
pregnant. She-Ra
Really?
holds up.
Yeah?
She-Ra holds up. He-Man doesn't.
I think
But those aren't really anime though. Those
Right.
were marketing campaigns for toys.
Toys,
But
yeah.
they were still
We
like
mentioned that before.
part of our
yeah,
right. But those are
Hasbro
part
in
of
particular.
Yeah. But and Voltron gets lumped in there because there were so many Voltron toys.
Right.
But it was Voltron and then the Mecha toys that came
Right.
with it.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, it'll depend. That's one of the reasons that I really want to get him into it early, because he can grow with it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
the flip side of that is the perennial franchises, the things that have become perennial franchises, like the Ninja Turtles and stuff like
Yeah.
that. There's going to be a version that is targeted towards him and his peers
Yeah.
that we're going to have to accept and deal with. In terms of things that I specifically want to introduce to him earlier than others, I've had this debate about Star Wars with several friends of mine who have kids ranging from like 4 to 8. And I know, and the gist where I've landed on this for episode 4, because he will watch it in the proper order.
Yeah, he will write
Yes.
the right order, the correct order.
Amen to
Yes.
that.
And for me, the machete order is going to be the right order. It's going to be 4,
Really?
5, 2, 3, 6,
Six.
and keep going.
That's a great order to do. I learned about
You
this.
lose
I just wanna avoid the
virtually all of
prequels.
Jar Jar by
Right.
dropping episode 1.
Right.
If you want to show him the pod race sequence, do that.
Why?
Hey, that's a great sequence.
It's pretty, but
Yeah, but
It's just something
but
athletic.
if you think about context,
Right.
4 you introduce the universe, 5 the reveal,
Right.
2 and 3 address how A got
Rise.
to B.
Yeah, exactly.
Because he may listen to this beforehand,
Right.
and I'm not spoiling that.
No, not at all. Earmuffs.
Right,
Yeah,
earmuffs.
cover those ears.
So you address after 5
Yeah.
how A got to B with 2 and 3. Then you come back for the resolution in 6.
Okay.
And then by the time he's old enough to start watching those, we'll have at least 8,
I
if
wonder
not
how
9.
big that universe is going to be by the time.
Well, that's true too,
That's-
because there's a trilogy plus another set of movies and a bunch of other things going on. But the machete order is actually kind of interesting to me for that, because I figured it'd be just showed it how it's theater, shown in theaters originally, and then maybe present the machete order. But that's actually a really cool idea.
Yeah.
For a first time Star Wars viewer, that'd be awesome.
But the two things
He
that
and I have not agreed on this. I think the prequels should just not be addressed at all.
we
Well, you can't have the
to
prequels without the original trilogy. The original trilogy draws up the prequels.
Yeah, I
so
know. But like,
they-
I'm happy with the original trilogy,
Yeah.
and then like the stuff with the Force Awakens, and
moving
then
forward.
Clone
like-
Wars and Rebels may get in there
yeah,
somewhere.
and then like
Oh,
the
Clone Wars is
animated
Beautiful. I
series.
still haven't seen
yeah.
Rebels yet. I need to catch up on Rebels, but Clone Wars was amazing.
We're just early into Clone Wars. We need to finish that, but I've heard
It
great
gets
things
even
about
better.
that.
So
and
well
better.
written.
It's so well written.
So
It's so much
good.
gray area. It's not
Yeah.
everything's
Yeah.
black
And
and,
you know what?
white. So it's
That's-
a great presentation.
That's a great thing to show him. Like as a kid, like it's cartoony.
Exactly.
Obviously, it's a cartoon, but it's something that like as a young kid he's going to get excited about because of all the colors
Right.
and stuff
Which
like that.
brings me
but-
to the two things I absolutely want to introduce to him as the earliest, for me, the earliest 2 pieces of geekery I want to give him. One is Muppets / Sesame Street.
awesome.
Which
Oh,
we're
yeah,
already
definitely.
on.
He's
Yeah.
already listening to Sesame Street.
We're on it.
Awesome.
And it parallels the other area. And all respect to the characters I love in the DC universe, but it's going to be Marvel Comics, because Marvel Comics is more about a better variety of characters.
Right.
Yeah.
Even before the cinematic universe started to inform all of the interesting changes they're making in the current MCU.
Right.
Because you get a swath of different characters. I mean, the X-Men for me, were especially with Storm and Wolverine and
Right.
Nightcrawler and the Claremont
They're
Revolution.
so eclectic
They're
as a
so-
group.
totally,
Yeah.
you could draw on, like, I see myself in that character regardless of your background.
Right.
And with the Muppets and with Sesame Street crossing those two over, between the Muppets and the people on the show, you get a wide variety of different backgrounds. They do a great job of being bilingual, which is
Yeah.
something that's very important for us.
Definitely.
So where it's not going to be, you've got to watch this, you've got to watch this. I want to make sure that these are easily accessible and things that Daddy will be excited to do
I
with him.
suspect that
Yeah.
the visual stuff is going to be easier to get him into than like the books, like the comic sort of graphic novel series that I really want to get him into sooner than later is my favorite, which is The Sandman.
Okay. Yeah.
Right?
Mm,
Like-
definitely.
That's 10 and up.
10 and up, yeah. But like,
He needs a solid foundation first.
Is
Yes.
he gonna read that? Like, I wonder. And I'll think
if
about
it's in
it.
an
Like,
E version, maybe on an iPad.
it's already on. It's on.
You mean the holographic projected version that he's going
Well,
to have?
that's still that was in the works, and it kind of faded away. And I think it's coming back, so it might be in around in
Maybe.
time. They've been
Yes.
working on it,
But
you know.
it's,
But
I think about the stuff that like he's going to be exposed to, and if I wonder sometimes, like if I hand him a book and go, dude, read that book. Why? It's called American Gods. It'll change your life. And he'll be like, ew, but it's paper.
But it's not on the internet. I don't
not-
have connection to my
what?
friends.
I
It's not
just-
I
social
can't
media.
read this on my iPad.
What
Right.
is that, right? Like,
That's
what
the
does
thing,
that
too.
world become
Will
for them?
he ever actually have a computer is the question. Will it just be a tablet? Because they're
Oh, dude, that's
okay.
dude.
Here's the generational dividing line. Our friend Seth has twin girls.
Okay.
They're 5, almost 6.
Action and Vendetta.
Abigail and
Victoria.
Victoria. But we
I like that.
We called them
Doesn't hurt
action. If you knew Seth, there's a reason why we called them Action and Vendetta.
okay.
So he wanted to let Victoria use this program, but he didn't have room on his main machine. he booted it up on his old laptop.
Okay.
So he set it up for his daughter, and she walks right over and just starts poking the screen to no effect.
Are you pukey?
He's a little.
He's
pukey.
got a
A
little
little
pukey.
So there's no effect. There's no response, and he says, "Honey, you gotta."
I'll take the book.
Yeah.
Oh, the book.
There's a book on the blanket with puke about to be on it. I'm gonna move the book.
Dude, I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
So she starts
fell
poking at the
wrong.
screen, and he's like, "No, honey, you've got to use this mouse." And she was delighted at how, and this a 5-year-old used this word, how quaint using the mouse was to operate the program.
That's modern for archaic.
I feel old.
Yes, a
How
5-year-old
do I
called a
program
mouse
VCR?
quaint.
That's how I feel right now.
God.
So those of you with children who are considering having
not
children,
allowed?
that is where the line is.
He needs to give her a cassette tape and a pencil
So
and
I
let her
figured
figure
it
that
out,
out.
yeah.
That's the first time I think I have felt old.
Old, right?
I'm in my late 20s.
There's more of them coming.
Oh,
And then
God.
the picture that he posted on his Facebook was she like made little like not paper mache, but like little paper cutouts of this little machine, and she's like, "Isn't this cool? Let me play pretend with this archaic device." Like,
Oh.
Yeah.
womp womp.
Well,
I'm
dude,
old.
you know, if technology keeps rolling the way it's supposed to, and you got a good future ahead of you, dude.
See, I would like to think, and I say this now as a non-parent, and I don't obviously change if I ever become a parent, but I would think that the first computer that my kid would ever have, I would have him build or her, you know.
That's the way it was.
Really
That's
good idea.
That's what
Just,
I
you know,
did. At
so they
my,
understand what goes into that
Yeah.
and whatever, and so if they get a virus, well, you have to fix it yourself,
yeah,
you know, kind of a
my
deal.
dad and
it
I,
becomes-
I built my first computer. I was like, 8 years old with
Yeah.
my dad, and my dad, knows computers very well.
Wow.
And again, we built this computer. I'm pointing at the computer behind me, my gaming rig. We built it again together. It's kind of fun. But
I have about 6 of his uncles who would die at the opportunity, and there might be a cage match to be the one who instills that virtue.
well, they all bring, tidings. One brings the video card, one brings the motherboard, one brings the processor.
It takes a science club to build a machine.
There we go. Well, they'll all argue about how it's done, of course.
Yes.
What is science club gonna be for him when there is a science club for him?
It's going to be
I
a
have a
pop
feeling-
culture club at
I have
that
a feeling
point.
it's going to be
normal
It's
club.
going to be a lot of Rick and Morty esque.
Nice.
I would love that.
It'll be a bunch
I
of
would love that for my
references.
child.
Rick and Morty's a little hardcore for my
because
11-week-old.
because
But
you
so
point
fun
a
is
ray gun,
Zippy.
you point a like a portal gun at a door, and all of a sudden you end up in another dimension, and it's just futuristic
Right,
and
like, what is that gonna be?
unforgiving.
Yeah.
I love it.
I mean, I don't think it's gonna be 2015 and where's my hoverboard, right? I don't
Yeah.
think it's gonna be that,
It's 2016, honey.
right? But I'm referring to the.
I know.
Oh, there's that. Look at the look.
And those of you who are married, I am getting the look.
You're feeling the look right now. You're feeling the look.
Mandalorians.
It singes the
And
soul.
so,
You got a little
So-
poop. You got a little poop.
Got a little poop. I got a little poop.
It's been second change
but
over
so
here.
right, like I don't think it's going to be the unreal expectations that we got from Back to the Future 2. But I think it's going to be. I have aspirations that we're gonna get there to science
Yeah.
where he's gonna come home and be like, "Look, Mom, I created smell-o-vision today." I'll be like, "That's great, honey." Smell right? Look at my husband and go, "What? What was that?"
I think it is the fits and starts that the generation now has with just the social media aspect of it and the poo-pooing and the kids get too much screen time.
Yeah.
I think that curve will level out and become the
Can't.
integrated generation.
Well, my
where it's-
grandparents thought that televisions were going to rot our brains,
Right.
and that we were all
it becomes
gonna be,
part of how they function.
Right.
And
Television
part
is
of how they
ruining
see
America.
themselves. I think they'll be okay, especially considering the level with which at least I see kids who are active online and have strong
this
digital
one.
presence are concerned about climate change in the environment. It
Right.
matters to them.
Right.
So they're gonna. I think they're gonna use it to have
Well,
more
it
of
should
a
matter to
positive-
us too, but
Yes.
but it will be their
There's
problems.
this-
Right.
There's this great, and I'll send you the link for the show notes. There's this great comic online where the mom is approached by the god
Oh, it's a
Siri
genie.
just went off.
Yes. Oh, it's the one I saw. Frank said.
yeah.
It's this couple, and they've got a newborn little girl, and they find a genie.
No. It's like a tiki god.
It's a
Anyway, he
tiki-
says, "My name is Turu." Let's just say, and because you love your kid so purely, I'm going to give you a wish for your child.
3 wishes.
3 wishes for your child. And the mom is sort of dancing around, holding the baby above her, wishing for, sort of maternal things like, I don't want them to know too much pain in their life, and I want them to have a
So
good
mom
life.
comes up with 2 really solid wishes that are going to protect and give this
Right.
girl
And
a good life.
Right.
And so she's winding up for the 3rd wish, right? And she's
Dad
like,
leans into the
ultimately, I wish for her to be a happy, healthy, responsible, and kind. And the dad leans in and goes,
Starfighter.
Starfighter pilot.
And the look from the mom is,
And the last 2 panels of the comic, you see, like 20 years in the future, you see the daughter with her helmet underneath her arm in front of her starship,
Here's the
waving
meta
to mom
thought.
and
That's me.
dad.
That's me, Indiana, right there.
Wait.
but here's the meta thought of that. Did his wish propel the space
Yes, it is.
program such that she was able to become a
the Starfighter.
starfighter?
Hey, you know what he says? He says, "You're welcome."
Yes. Well, the last panel is the mom just sort of like, I'm happy she's okay, but god damn it. And the dad's got 2 thumbs up towards his daughter and the biggest shit-eating grin.
There's 20 years of her staring at him, and then finally he's like, I'm vindicated. Took 20 years, but I waited for it.
It's a great bit.
Anyway, I
That
think
is
of that
good.
a lot.
awesome.
That in essence is like me raising him as a kid.
Well, that's a good model, and he's wonderful. And thanks for bringing him on the show. Look at that smile, that beautiful little boy.
smile.
And he's continued his trend of being an absolute gem in social situations, so I'm glad
He's
that worked
good.
out.
Yeah,
He's
so
been in
you
a bar,
guys
he's been in a
maybe heard.
podcast.
Yeah, you guys maybe heard a couple little whimpers from him here and there. Otherwise, he's a smiley, wonderful little baby. And we actually popped
Baby.
open.
I
Yeah,
was never that good looking of a baby. I'm still not good looking.
Oh, you're
God.
fine.
I got a face for radio. I don't think Alex was that good looking either. So.
no, I was beautiful. Are you kidding?
You
Look at
are-
me now. I was like 10 times
You're
better.
a
looking.
lying liar of lies. You sit on a throne of lies.
And we actually popped our second beer, and this is great. We've been drinking it throughout this conversation. Golden Drac, and quickly touching on it, it is definitely lighter than the other
Oh,
beer. And
It's very bold. I love the flavor of it.
I mean,
Well,
you
it's
could
also the second. So he mentioned
Yeah.
it earlier. It's the second fermenting of it is with wine yeast.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's exactly what I was going to say. And you could taste that.
Yeah.
Which is amazing.
Veronica is absolutely in our lives and in our relationship. She is the beer connoisseur. She knows this stuff better.
I'm a beer nerd.
We are
Good.
both foodies, but I'm more of the chef.
Okay.
By a little bit. The 2 notes I would add with the delirium, chili,
Okay.
because it's a little
But
richer.
more Cincinnati style.
Okay.
If you're gonna go that
Yeah.
way,
Yeah.
a reduction. If you're instead of adding a little wine with the golden drop, not a lot,
Yeah,
but a
like-
little.
So,
We
and just to be
deglaze
clear,
the pan
guys,
with
just
that.
to be clear, the Golden Drac, using it as a reduction, like in your cooking.
yeah,
That's
you don't want
deglaze a pan.
you don't want to use it solely as a reduction, but if you
for,
want
like,
to deglaze a pan with it as you're
pork.
going to start a sauce, like after you've grilled up some
Wow.
pork, especially if you're going to go something, excuse me, a little more
You need more
autumnal.
beer in
I
you.
need more beer. If you're going to go for something a little more autumnal in flavors,
God, that's
so
good.
a little pork, a little more cinnamon, a little more nutmeg, a little more apple.
Awesome.
I love it.
A little bit of the
I
golden
think it might
drac
be
in the
too
plan.
sweet to put with apples because it's sweet. I mean, it's much sweeter.
I'm kind of looking forward to using it and making my next batch of apple risotto.
I make this chili once a year. Not once a year, but in sort of the fall season. And in it, I put this. I was going to bring it, but I couldn't find a bottle of it at Total Wine. But it's a smoked Mausen.
Oh, wow.
Ooh,
It's
nice.
I
so
love it.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love
And we
them.
call it bacon beer.
There we go.
It's just
And it
bacon
is
beer.
fantastic for
It's
chili.
bacon beer.
Okay.
It's fantastic for chili.
So good.
So I am a connoisseur of grilled cheese sandwiches. That's my forte, and that's
good
about
for you.
all I can do. that's
Hey,
it.
but you
That's
make
all.
a damn good one.
There is a food truck in Courthouse that you should go talk to.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
All they do is grilled cheese.
Because that's all I can do. And that's I've learned to not mess it up anymore. But I've tried like fried eggs,
Here,
and
hold
I
this.
can't
I
fry
have
an
this
egg save my
baby
life. So they keep me out of the kitchen for a reason.
Oh, that's awesome. And, thanks so much for bringing him and bringing the beer.
Thanks
This
so
has
much
been,
for having us.
Yeah, this has been
thank
great.
you.
And one last cheers, as we
Cheers.
Salud.
salud.
There you go.
As we finish off the night drinking this beer. We wanted to thank you guys for listening in. Jojo, where can people reach us?
So we have an email, and that is geek30podcast@gmail.com, and that is all spelled out. 30 is a word, not a number. Well, it is a number, but it's spelled out. We also have a website. If you ever want to see what's going on, you can go to geek30.com, which is also all spelled out. And it's also our Twitter handle, Geek30, or at Geek30, spelled out. There's also a phone number you can reach us at, 443-424-3350. We're on Facebook, and we're getting on YouTube too. We're starting to put up some videos.
Yeah, we got a lot of cool videos. I'm actually in the midst of putting up some videos from my 5K run in Disneyland, the Star
exciting.
Wars 5K.
Oh, cool. Oh, you're doing it?
Yeah, no, I did
You
it.
did it,
Oh,
yeah.
you did it?
I did.
I didn't realize it already happened.
Heck yeah.
Ooh.
So, videos will be going up here shortly, so stay tuned to that. And please, if you haven't yet, give us a 5-star rating on iTunes. That helps us get the word out. And, again, thank you to you two for coming and being on the show.
The
And
three of
Thank you
you.
for having
Yeah,
us.
man.
Thank you guys
And-
for having us.
yes.
It was a blast.
Thank you for participating, little man. You did a good job.
Bien hecho, mi amor.
Oh.
Yeah. And thanks for the awesome beers. So, again, the names of the beers, Veronica?
Golden Drac and not too much beer. Delirium Nocturnal.
Yes, both delicious. And thank you to Jamie Sweeland, as always, for awesome music and editing and all the great things he does. And we will see you next time.
Thank you so much. Have a good one.
Take care, everyone.
Bye, all.
See ya!
Ciao.